Okay, so you want to dive into this whole affiliate marketing thing. I get it. You're hearing make money online. And honestly, you're right to be curious, ADD, skeptical. And that's really what this whole deep dive is all about, right? It's about cutting through all the noise, all those flashy promises of instant riches, and really getting to the heart of what it takes to actually succeed with affiliate marketing.
Yeah, and what I like about the source material here is, it doesn't shy away from that whole, get rich quick trap. Like, it actually calls it out, compares it to a hamster wheel. Like, yeah, you're putting in the effort, but are you actually getting anywhere?
Oh, man. That hamster wheel analogy, that hits a little too close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've totally been there with some online ventures.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is how the source really breaks down why that disconnect exists. It's like they're saying, don't blame the game, blame the gurus.
Yeah, and they really put the finger at those who are out there peddling these, push-button solutions.
Yeah.
Preying on that desire for easy money. But real success in affiliate marketing, it's just like any other business. It takes a different approach.
And that's where the source's success mountain visual is really powerful. It's not a quick climb.
Yeah.
It's more like climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
So can you break down what this mountain represents?
So the success mountain, it really emphasizes those unglamorous but super essential elements. So consistent effort, continuous learning, and time. It's all about building a sustainable business, not chasing those overnight riches.
And the source is serious. Because they even use a crying emoji for those who just aren't ready to hear that. It's like, welcome to the real world, where effort equals results.
Right, and it brings us to this crucial crossroads. It's like this fork in the road that the source highlights. It's like you can stick with the hope of these shortcuts. Or
commit to a different path.
Yeah.
One where you're not just a salesperson, you're a valuable resource.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about, is shifting from just promoting products to actually adding value.
And this is where the deep dive gets really interesting.
Right.
Because they don't just tell us to add value. They actually show us how.
Right.
Like one example that really stuck out to me was when they talked about incorporating their knowledge of 3D animation. And I think a lot of people might be thinking, how does that even relate to affiliate marketing? But stick with us here. This is where understanding value proposition comes in.
Yeah, and so instead of just promoting generic animation software, they actually leverage their expertise to stand out. So they become a guide for aspiring animators, understanding not just the software, but also the challenges and the aspirations of their audience.
It's like anyone can link to a product page.
Right.
But how many can offer custom music for your animations? Bonus training materials that are tailored to your skill level, or resources that are specific to, I don't know, maybe architectural rendering. They become the go-to expert in that niche.
Exactly. And that's the power of adding value. You're not competing on price or hype. You're offering something truly unique.
Which brings us to another key takeaway from the source. The strategic use of lead magnets. I feel like this term gets thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
But the source makes it crystal clear how powerful they can be. So what exactly is a lead magnet, and how does it fit into the bigger picture?
So a lead magnet is basically, it's like a valuable resource that you offer for free. And in exchange, someone gives you their contact information, usually an email address. So think ebooks, cheat sheets, detailed guides, mini courses, really anything that provides immediate value.
Yeah.
And it should be related to the product that you're actually promoting.
Okay, so that makes total sense. And this is where that 3D animation expertise comes back in.
Yeah.
Because instead of just being hey, here's a link to the software, they created a landing page that offers something way more enticing.
Exactly. They realized that aspiring animators, they need more than just the software. They need to know how to use it effectively. So their lead magnet might be something like, I don't know, a free video tutorial series or something, where they're teaching basic 3D modeling techniques. And they're doing it using that specific software.
So good. Because they aren't just selling software at that point. They're selling a solution.
Right.
Like a pathway to achieving those animation dreams.
Exactly. And by providing that upfront value, they're positioning themselves as a trusted guide, not just another affiliate who's trying to make a quick buck.
Okay, this is giving me so much to think about. It's what's my 3D animation equivalent? What can I offer?
Yeah.
That goes beyond just the basic product pitch.
And that's the beauty of this approach, right? It forces you to think strategically about your unique value proposition. It's not about being the loudest voice out there. It's about being the most helpful.
Okay, so how do you actually figure that out, though? Let's say I'm passionate about, I don't know, sustainable living. How do I translate that into valuable lid magnets for I don't know, eco-friendly cleaning products or something?
Well, you're already on the right track. You've identified your passion. Now you need to think about, what are the problems that people are facing when they're trying to transition to a more eco-friendly lifestyle?
Okay, so like maybe they're overwhelmed by all the different product choices, or they're not really sure which ones actually work.
Exactly. So your lead magnet could be like a free guide, top 10 eco-friendly cleaning swaps that actually work. Or maybe a downloadable cheat sheet, decoding eco-labels, what to look for and what to avoid. You're providing value, but you're also subtly positioning these cleaning products as part of a larger solution.
This is making me realize that like adding value isn't just about being extra or whatever. It's about really understanding your audience's needs and desires, like on a much deeper level.
Absolutely. It's about empathy and being genuinely helpful. And that's ultimately what builds trust. And it leads to, sustainable success in the long run.
Which, let's be honest, that's what we all want, right? It's not about the quick buck. It's about building a business on solid ground, genuine connections, and dare I say, real passion.
You got it. And that's something the source material really emphasizes. It's not about chasing these fleeting trends. It's about cultivating long-term growth by becoming that invaluable resource in your niche.
Okay, so we've talked about the what, adding value. But what about the how? The source talks about their own journey learning 3D animation and how it transformed their whole approach. But not everyone has the time or the resources to become an expert in something totally new, right? So what's a more accessible way for people to kind of tap into that unique value proposition?
And that's where I think that emphasis on personal experience really comes in. Doesn't have to be, I'm not mastering something completely new from scratch. It's more about tapping into what you already, know and love.
Okay, so instead of expert level, think lived experience. I like that. Yeah,
exactly. Like, let's say you're passionate about, I don't know, collecting vintage vinyl records.
Right.
You might not be a professional DJ, but you have that deep understanding of that world.
The ins and outs of turntables.
Yeah.
The best online marketplaces. How to spot a rare find.
Exactly. And that knowledge is valuable. You could create lid magnets like a beginner's guide to building a vintage vinyl collection, or 5 secrets to scoring deals at record fairs.
And then you can naturally weave in those affiliate links for record players, cleaning supplies, storage solutions. Suddenly you're not just a fan, you're a trusted guide.
Sharing your passion and your expertise.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is those insights are uniquely yours. Nobody else has had those exact same experiences or developed those passions in the same way. That's what makes your perspective so valuable.
This is so true. I think we have a tendency to downplay our own knowledge sometimes. We assume everybody knows what we know.
Right. But the reality is, our individual journeys, even the ones that seem kind of ordinary to us, they're filled with these valuable insights that other people can benefit from.
Absolutely. And that's what the source, I think, really encourages us to embrace, that we all have something unique to offer. It's about tapping into that inner well of experience and sharing it authentically.
I love that. This deep dive has totally it's shifted my perspective on affiliate marketing. It's not about pushing products. It's about, sharing your passions, adding value, and building those genuine connections.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about being that trusted guide, not just a salesperson. And that's so much more fulfilling. And ultimately, it's a much more sustainable way to approach, really, any online endeavor.
Well said. This has been an awesome journey, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to kind of go out there and uncover their own unique value proposition. Remember, your experiences, your passions, your unique perspectives, those are your superpowers.
Yes. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things. Share your journey authentically. You might be surprised by the impact that you can make.
So good. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep sharing your unique gifts with the world.